You, this is Point Zizzy, coming in hard and off the card, coming with the flow, straight to the barrio, and coming with the heat to the damn street. This is PBN and Point Black National News, the late and the great edition and the ghetto edition as well, because this is how we do in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? Now today, we're looking at a situation coming in on a news break, on an indictment on the Trumpy Bear. And we also see many people have many things to say about it. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that I'm looking at that's coming in from Josephine Harvey one day ago of the Huff Post, you know what I'm saying, is the opinion that came in from the exonerated Central Park 5 member has one word statement on Trump's indictment, as we see. But we see Yusef Salam, or whatever his name is, I think it's Yusef Salam, seems like he's a Muslim in his fullness, and I'm saying one of the exonerated Central Park 5 that Central Park 5 had one word to say to the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, indictment Thursday. He said, comma. Now, the first thing about that is it's not comma. You know why? Because it's not the same case. You know what I'm saying? I'm old enough to remember and seeing the evidence that they presented to the media at that time, you know what I'm saying, about that case. Even having somebody that was filming, you know what I'm saying, the situation of you guys in the park at the time. All other evidence seemed to have been oppressed, and I'm wondering why the NYPD did not give a formal apology, and I hope that they did, and I'm not just saying that did not or they did. But the question still remains is when we look at what you're saying as karma, it's not the same case. Let's get that straight first. I don't know about any other case with Trump, but this case is not karma to your case. Your case was a completely different case. The media showed us you in the park. So in other words, they filmed you guys. If you wasn't even close to this situation or the situation or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They showed you guys in the park and used that as an example. So everybody that's seen it on the media, all they saw was you guys, and they filmed you guys saying that you was the ones that did it. Trump didn't do the investigation himself. He didn't go out and do an investigation in Central Park. He wasn't even there. So what he was saying out of his mouth could have been racist, yes, by just saying give him the electric chair or some bullshit like that. But at the same time, when we look at the situation, he did not have all the evidence to the case or was there at Central Park at the time. So he was only basically going off the evidence in which he was given based on the crime, on what all of us saw on the media. And I kept saying it back then. By you just showing these guys in the park does not show that they committed the crime. Now, I don't know what they were laughing about because they showed them laughing and looking downward as if they were looking at something. Maybe they were looking at the guy doing the raping, I don't know. But they were not the ones that committed the crime based on true evidence all the way down to justice. Trump only did that based on the evidence that he may have had at that time. Because like I said, he didn't do the investigation. You know what I'm saying? The NYPD is the one who did that investigation. So it's not karma because second of all, Trump did not rape Stormy Daniels. He paid her. So it's not the same karma. It's not the same thing. You see what I'm saying? And I'm glad that you guys was exonerated from that crime and should have been given a formal apology by the state of New York in 100%. Now, the third thing is, much of the evidence that was suppressed and much of, even after you were exonerated and knew that you did not commit that crime, they still did not give us all the facts of evidence until you guys were released and then you guys explain it on YouTube or whatever show you were on. I think it was Galad or whoever it was. You guys presented what truly happened. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't a lot of people out here did not get the evidence that you guys presented on the YouTube show, I guess with Galad or whatever, you know what I'm saying, as to the trueness of what truly happened. People still were stuck on the fact that you committed a crime due to the fact of racism, I guess, trying to get a conviction for a crime that they could not solve in a high tense political area, time at that time, or what was going on in the country at that time. They wanted to get a quick indictment, so they took a picture of you guys over there looking down laughing, and then said that because you were in Central Park at the time, saying that you did the crime. So they still didn't explain to the people until later on, after you guys have been totally exonerated. And even though you have been exonerated, NYPD never came and gave a formal statement as to a botched investigation of the crime itself. So it's not karma because, like I said, Trump paid Stormy Daniels or whatever they say he did. He paid her. You know what I'm saying? He didn't rape her. You know what I'm saying? But, when we look at this whole situation, you know what I mean? But Salam was among the 5 black and brown teenagers wrongfully imprisoned for the 1989 rape of a white woman in Central Park, case that was explored in 2019, 1989 to 2019, explored 2019 Netflix series. That's the only way we got the trueness of the evidence of what really took place. And one was based on a rape case. The other was based on, when it comes to Trump, is based on him paying a porn film star, to have company or whatever he did with her. It's not the same. So where's the karma coming in, Mr. Salam? You see what I'm saying? I understand your frustration and you've been wanting to get back at Trump for it. I understand that because he did say that it was a case of he didn't even do an investigation and fully know the truth, and he's talking about get somebody to electric chair. That's the mistake that he made in himself, because they were black kids. You know what I'm saying? And saying that he raped a woman, a white woman, so they should get the electric chair. There's news for that on Trump's side that they've been raping their own people for many years, long before we came along. So don't give me that bullshit. They've been raping their own people for many, many years and doing crazy shit up in Europe to their people for many, many years before we even got involved with them, involved in many of the fullness of their wrong with these people. So Trump has to look at, Yusef Salam has to look at this thing, and I don't understand why you would say karma when it's 2 different cases. That's number 1. You know what I'm saying? Number 2, the case was based on you guys, that they watched the investigation, showed you guys there, show you in the park, show you laughing, show you joking around, whatever we was doing. I guess that time it used to be called Wild Out. I remember that. And a lot of times, many of the games that they were playing in the neighborhood, where people go out and just wild out, beat people up, shoot guns and dumb shit coming out the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. You know what I mean? In the black community, you had this wild out shit. You know what I'm saying? So at that time that you were in the park and the wild out style was out, you happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? And you were wrongfully accused. But Trump did not rape Stormy Daniels. He paid her. So the karma is not the same. There is no karma there. And it doesn't make sense to say something like that without true evidence to the case in itself. So we have to start looking at what we say when we say what we say. You know what I'm saying? Because that was done in 89. And then the explored investigation into it in Netflix came out in 2019, where everybody was able to really see the true evidence and everything that was displayed in itself. So we could put all that together. But at that time, the evidence was not shown to people, nor did we actually see the investigation in its fullness. Second of all, NYPD should have also did what we call a DNA test. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if DNA was available at the time, but it was to do a swab or whatever it takes to find out if any of you guys that were accused of this crime, semen or any DNA was left on her. You know what I'm saying? I wonder, did that happen? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this was a complete botch and a racist push-up investigation to me, You know what I'm saying? Because when we looked at many of you guys when you were being interviewed by the police on the news, and they were showing you in the news being investigated, I guess in the room, it looked like they beat you all up to make you confess. So we know that is a fact. And now that you're saying that it's the same, but Trump didn't rape Stormy Daniels, so I don't get the comma in the situation. But that is on you, and that's just my opinion to the situation. Say no more. You know what I'm saying? Now, we have another one coming in for Mr. Alan Braggs, coming off this is coming by Alex West, March 31st, 2023, published at 9:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We see in the sources Twitter and Manhattan DA. Here's what they know about Mr. Alan Braggs, wife, Porton Braggs. I don't care about that. Mr. Alan Braggs' wife is okay where she at, and I hope she's in good health. But when it comes to his wife and all of that, we really don't really care. But according to the situation of Mr. West in his report, he said, where were you when the notification hit your phone of the president being indicted in New York? First of all, the interest in Mr. Alan Braggs and this DA shit shows me that he came from a college, and he probably is boule in that college anyway, Harvard and all this different stuff, you know what I'm saying, and then got this position, you know what I'm saying, and then called upon to do this bull crap. But like I said, he paid the woman to have sex or whatever he called himself doing with Mrs. Stormy Daniels. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, nobody really cares about Mr. Alan Braggs and the bullshit that he's presenting based on this case, because to me it seemed like he's trying to control the man's dick. You know what I'm saying, as to he can't get this and he take campaign money and this, and how many of y'all have done even worse than that? You talking about some bull. You couldn't come up with a better case than that. We moving on. You know what I'm saying? But we see a black mother blasts Minnesota ethnic study bill as really racist to its core. You know what I'm saying? We see here where a black mother is warning that the ethnic study bill before the Minnesota legislators is really racist at its core. You know what I'm saying? Which is no doubt in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes from Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? But the black mother is, in more ways than one, warning that the ethnic study bill before the Minnesota legislature is really racist at its core. As far as we see. You know what I'm saying?